What the fuck's going on, guys? Welcome back to another fire fucking story time. Did I scare your bitch ass? My bad, bro. I do apologize for this time. Grow up. Real quick before we get into the story time and roll the B-roll footage and I yap away and tell a story, I'd like to preference you should probably watch the one before this. And then to watch that one, you should probably watch the one before this. Am I just shouting myself out? Low key. But you will also hear what led up to this point. Okay? Without further ado, let's get the fuck right into it. No more chit-chatting, other than telling you this story. So, like I said, if you watched the last video, I spent the night in jail before this, right? And because, well, one of the reasons I was in jail is because of drugs. Now I have drug charges on me, which are felonies, right? Probably a way to diffuse this is getting sober and getting help. And it's also my first offense. And I kind of started to realize that's already what was happening, right? Well, in a way, I was just getting detox. That's what this place is. It's called UPC. So I come out of jail and I'm brought into this building, okay? I get brought into this room with like 5 nurses, and they're asking me basic questions like, hey, are you depressed? Do you want to kill yourself? Do you want to hurt anybody else? Do you hear voices? Yada, yada, right? The basics. And then they ask, have you been diagnosed with anything? I say ADHD and depression. Then they ask my drug usage history, drug usage duration, how often I use each drug, my drugs of choices, etc., right? I tell them, which blows their mind, because my drug history really got bad for the last like 4 months of drinking alcohol every day, taking Xanax every day, doing cocaine every day, and smoking weed every day. What I didn't know is that the Xanax contained fentanyl, and I also bought Adderall pills. Adderall, they were pressed, and they contained crystal meth. Those are also just stories for itself, because being on crystal meth was very obvious in my own brain and my body, because I didn't sleep for days and it was really fucking scary. But this place is really more for a detox, and they can't just keep me in jail or prison while I'm withdrawing. And so during this time, I get sent to a place called UPC. I don't really know what it stands for. Urgent Patient Care or urgent whatever, okay? Like I said, it's only a 24 to 48 hour hold. So the police officers bring me in, that happens, yada yada. And then I'm now in scrubs. They take all my clothes off, yada yada. Check for cuts, which they see the cuts on my wrist, yada yada. Alright? Now to the fucking meat, potatoes, the fucking asparagus. Get some fucking A1 sauce, put some butter on that steak. Now we're getting to the story, okay? Just had to get that out of the way. I'm brought into this giant auditorium, like a school cafeteria looking thing, okay? On one side, on the right side, it's a bunch of recliner chairs, a TV hooked on the wall in front of all these chairs. I would say it's like 4 or 5 rows of these big recliner chairs, and there's like 6 to 8 in each row, okay? Then the room's kind of split in half because there's just an open walkway. And on the other side of the auditorium, same exact thing. Bunch of chairs, rows of chairs, and a TV there. I soon learned that there is a men's side and a woman's side. I only learned this because a lot of people would go to each specific side and they'd say, hey, only go on the men's side. You have everything you need over there. There's these desks, sort of like these stations of nurses where if we need something, we go up to them. Hey, I need to use the bathroom. The bathrooms were always locked, and if you use the bathrooms, they have to stand at it. And then also, based off the color of your socks, is kind of the level of watch that you're on. Apparently, I was on yellow socks, which I couldn't even close the bathroom door. I saw that people close it. I realized, they're wearing different colored socks. Because literally workers say, what color socks do you wear? Oh, really? Oh, okay, yeah, I got a watch though, bro. That's fine. They didn't really believe I was on yellow socks, because the people that were on yellow socks were the ones doing things like this. I walk into this auditorium. My first impression is watching someone get fucking socked in the face. boom, right across the face. He kind of falls down, lands on his hands, and it gets broken up before it can even continue, right? They're good at that, I guess, sort of. I'm going to try to go in order of things that happened. I'm really just going to talk about the events because the day looked the same for the 2 days that I was there. We sit in our chairs. Breakfast gets brought to us. Eat the breakfast. Maybe we'll do something like group meeting, but we only get pulled out in small groups, yada yada. Like weird games like bingo. But it's, oh, you get a square if you've ever done blank or if you've ever felt blank. You know, that type of bullshit. And I mean, super helpful stuff. And then back to the room, sitting in the auditorium, doing nothing, watching whatever's on the TV, which always was a fight. I mean, I remember the first night, this guy was super nice, okay? First night, like I said, there's these nurses that are at the desks, and there's these two sides, but on the woman's side is a med window. And then there's these glass windows full of people on computers. It looked like a fucking air traffic control room, okay? Everyone's on their computers acting all important and shit, but they're really all assigned to one of us, and they're just trying to figure out where to send us because, like I said, it's only a 24 to 48 hour hold. They're figuring out what drugs we are doing and what we need to not go through withdrawals. I believe I was put on like gabapentin and Ativan or whatever the fuck I was put on. And then to go to bed, they put me on trazodone. So anytime I went to bed, I had to go to the med window and get my trazodone. Anytime I woke up, I had to go to the med window and get gabapentin and yada yada. That's pretty much the gist of the place. And like I said, first night, I remember after we ate dinner, there's a lot of us, okay? And there's this fucking weird guy. He looks like a fat Dahmer. I fucking hated this guy. This guy has some fucking issues. I mean, that's why we're all there. But a lot of them had some very evident mental disorders. This dude was a narcissist. He probably had bipolar because I've seen it in my sister. I grew up with my sister. We were walking on eggshells all the time because we didn't know what version of her we were going to get in the next 5 minutes, 5 seconds, or 5 hours. It's really hard living with someone who has bipolar disorder unmedicated. This guy was clearly unmedicated, or it was something even worse. That's just who he is. I don't fucking know. He would just be walking in circles, talking like he deserves this or owns this. I mean, so what? This guy is super nice, the nurse. The nurse comes up to this other kid around my age who's kind of trying to sleep in his chair, and he's sitting next to me, and like we had a short, brief conversation. What's up, bro? What's up, man? What? Sleepy? Yeah, man. Fucking people be screaming in the night. I'm like, really? Fuck, it's my first day here. Short stuff like that, right? This dude comes up to the kid next to me, the nurse, and he's like, hey, do you guys want to switch to TV? Yeah. I look at him like, what do you want to watch? Boondocks. So the nurse puts on Boondocks. The nurse is super cool. This same nurse was flirting with one of the other girl doctors, right? She walks away. I was like, yo, bro, I think she likes you, bro. Shoot your shot. He's like, you think so? Man, I feel it. I'm just trying not to be too obvious, man. I never worked with her, bro. So I'm trying to just like get to know him more. Super, super nice guy. Super funny. Then this weirdo Dahmer guy walking around comes into the picture like an hour later. Hey, or I think we put on Dragon Ball. Okay. Hey, can we change the TV? Nice guy, man. Nurse. It's late at night, by the way. It's like 10 p.m. Nice guy. Nurse is like, dude, I just changed it. You can change it, but not yet. You know, let everybody watch what they want to watch. He's watching that. And he's like, he's not even watching it. Who's watching this? The kid next to me fell asleep. And I'm not going to say anything because I'm like not trying to get punched. Okay. Call me a pussy or whatever. I'm not getting punched. This kid's asleep. He doesn't even need to know what's happening. I'm not going to be like, hey, bro, aren't you watching this? Or I'm watching this. Because then he's going to now talk to me. I'm staying out of it. Okay. Because as far as I know, I just got out of jail and I'm not going back to jail. All right. Is how I felt. Because I'm still on edge. I will fucking beat the shit out of you if you fucking try to talk to me like that. But he wasn't talking to me like that. It didn't really involve me, is how I felt about it. I'm just more of a witness. And he's like, no one's even watching this. No one's even watching this. He's pacing in circles, standing, looking up at the TV, like right under it. No one's even watching this. Man, the nurse guy, man, would you calm down? Like, go sit down. Like, read your book or something, because he's holding a book. He's like, go read your book or something, man. Jesus. And this guy's like, oh, what? Or what? Huh? Or what? He's like, man, don't do all that right now. Then these other big ass nurses come up. You guys got a fucking problem? Like, what's going on? He's like, yeah, I got a problem. No one's watching this, and I can't fucking change my TV. It starts getting real hectic real fast, and I can't change my fucking TV. Who the fuck is watching this? Yo, you're gonna need to calm down, man. Or what? Or what, huh? You gonna touch me? Yeah, you afraid to touch me? Huh? I couldn't believe what the fuck I was hearing and what the fuck I was seeing. And this big ass guy was like, man, don't play that game, man. Go sit down. Slowly but surely, this Dahmer motherfucker starts to slowly turn around. Now he's just talking to himself while he's talking shit, walking away. He goes and fucking cries himself to sleep in the corner. Literally, he set up his blanket and pillows in the corner. He took them off the chair and went and set them in the corner. Which, by the way, we slept on these recliner chairs. There's no beds. We got blankets, pillows if we asked for them. And when I was like, can I get an extra blanket? The nice guy nurse was like, dude, fold it up and use it as a pillow, and I'll give you another one. Because, like, I know it's uncomfortable, man. I was, fuck. All right, thanks, dude. First night, I'm sleeping, right? I'm on trazodone, which is a fucking trank, all right? I was sleeping, and all I hear on the woman's side is, bitch, fuck! I'll beat the shit out of you, fuck! Ah! 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 Literally just screaming now for no reason. Okay? Now we're just screaming. I shouldn't have said this, because like I said, I should stay out of these type of things in this type of fucking cuckoo nut house. Would you shut the fuck up? I'm trying to sleep! And I go right back to sleep. Okay, look, I was on trank, alright? I wasn't thinking clearly. I should not have said that. Like I said, I need to stay out of that shit. I can't go back to jail. And I can't get my ass beat because I will body slam her, okay? I shouldn't have said that, alright? Luckily, I just remember going back to sleep and no one hurt me or touched me, okay? I went right back to sleep because I'm on fucking trazodone. That was my first night experience, and I wake up, back hurts, neck hurts, and I have to relive the same thing for one more day, right? I have to ask to go to the bathroom, and they put their foot in it and watch. Some of the nurses started to like me a little bit, so they'd be like, if I close it, you really gonna do nothing? No, bro. I just take really long poops. I don't think you're going to want to stand there the whole time. It's like, all right, bro, if you come out, be quick, because then they'll see your colored socks, and they'll see that I let you in there. Like, all right. He's like, I trust you, yada, yada. Close the door slightly. He's like, I can't close it fully, but I'll crack it. They had to leave like kind of a full gap so they hear everything, but he's like, I'll crack it for you, okay? Just don't tell anybody. Still didn't get to lock the door, but whatever. Then, like I said, only activity was the second day, and we were brought into this room with only like 5 of us. I think it was whoever wanted to go. It was activity time. We played bingo, and I liked the girl who ran it. The tech, whatever you want to call her. The people who did choose to go there were more like me, a little normal. Not psychotic or schizophrenic or bipolar. They were more just normal like me. Probably got led there through alcoholism or drug abuse, or maybe they were coming down off coke and pushed somebody or hit somebody or something along those lines, right? It's kind of where I ended up and why I ended up there. It was fun because I actually got a little bit of a laugh out of some of these people. They're actually pretty funny. We played bingo, and I just remember this one dude next to me. He just kept like saying things in this weird accent, and then we'd all laugh or something like that. I don't know. I don't really remember much because also the trazodone was just fucking egging on me all day. And I remember the second night when I went to the med window, I was like, do you have anything a little like less harsh than trazodone? And I forgot to mention, throughout the days, we're also pulled into our own separate rooms. We talked to a doctor and then a case manager. A doctor is the ones we tell about the medication and how it's affecting us, how we feel, yada, yada. Case managers are the ones pretty much handling where we're going. And I have to be honest to them about what I'm feeling, thinking, which I am, because I'm like really terrified of it all. And I'm like, I don't know where I am. I don't know where I'm about to end up. So let me just be honest, tell my story, tell how I feel, and maybe they'll see that I'm a normal person and that I've just made some bad decisions. And I have a really bad drug habit going on. And that kind of became the problem. You know, a lot of people are, let's get down to the root problem of drug addiction, which I agree. No one just starts using drugs for any reason. I just started because I was sad or bored or both. And then that made me sadder. And that made me more bored with myself and my life. And that just spiraled downhill, right? Now that I'm sober, I can proudly say I'm afraid of what I was doing. And I want to be alive. Okay? I want to be here. And if I were to do drugs, I would be trading everything that I've gained back. I've been going on runs every day. I'm going to the gym. I've gained like 12 pounds since this day. And I've made a lot of YouTube videos. I've gained the passion that I used to have for creating content, for just creating stuff. I draw now and read and, like I said, record a lot. And it feels good. I've been occupying my time very well for being alone here because I'm just waiting on insurance. I don't know how it ended up this way. Well, I do. We'll be told in the next story time. But this second night, I asked for something a little lighter than trazodone because, good fucking golly, I got knocked the fuck out and I felt like I was high all day. That's how I explained it. And so I got something else. And I remember at the med window, like, trazodone too strong? Yeah. It's a tranquilizer. I don't need that. I wake up this next day. Third day here now. I wake up and I'm expecting breakfast. But all I get is, Alec, wake up. You're being discharged in a few minutes. Wake up. It's my case manager. Oh, okay. What's up? Grab all your stuff. Pack your folders. You're leaving. I really didn't want this to happen, but you're going to Valleywise. Oh, why didn't you want it to happen? Because I don't think you need it. I think you needed a different route. But it's where you're going. Make the most of it. You're kind of scaring me. Scared I should have been, because I saw things in this place and heard things and felt things that I will never unsee and I will never forget. Lord, do I have some fucking stories about this place that I will have to tell on this channel. I got harassed. I got terrified. I was scared for my safety. And I also got to observe how deep this rabbit hole goes in terms of mental disorders and drug addiction itself. I learned a lot in there by observing these people and talking to these people because I was the youngest one in there by far. Even in this type of place, I was pretty young, but there were a lot of more people my age. Because, like I said, the dude next to me was my age. It was more just like a holding cell for very broad, but just specifically detox of drugs. Okay. The next place I got admitted to, Valleywise, I'll explain what it is. But she says this. I'm like, okay. These really big dudes, they're really nice. Like, ready, bro? Yeah. He's like, you get any information or anything you need? She was grabbing me a copy of like these papers for resources and stuff because I kind of want them when I get out of Valleywise, wherever I'm going. Like, yeah, that'll be good. I'm glad you're thinking that way. Yeah, because like I don't want to end up back here. He's like, perfect. We wait, get the papers. I get walked through this hallway, and there's these two first responders, right? Like these two guys that work in like an ambulance. They put me on this stretcher, strap my arms down, strap my legs down, strap my body in. And I remember even saying, is this like protocol? They're like, yeah, man, sorry. They wheel me out, wheel me in the ambulance, and I will never forget how good the sun felt on my skin. I looked at the sun rise. It was a sunrise, and I was like, big deep breath. In the ambulance I go before I could even really appreciate what I just felt on my skin, because it's been like 72 hours since I felt that. And then I'm in the ambulance and I have a talk with this guy, right? he's talking to me. So what led you in there? Just a lot of bad decisions that led to really bad ones. And hopefully I can recover from them as a person. And hopefully the people I hurt can forgive me. Well, physically hurt or mentally hurt. More so make them afraid that I'm not going to wake up the next morning. And more so my family and my girlfriend. Put her through a lot. Put them through a lot. Especially my mom. I'll never forget the look in her eyes. Damn, man. Well, you're already coming along thinking that way. And then we just kind of talk normally. It's like, your heart rate's really low. Are you a runner? Yeah, actually, yeah. My resting heart rate is, let's check. I have my watch on right now. Heart rate. Resting heart rate is 59, which is pretty low. The other day it was like 54. Sometimes it's 50, even like 49, okay? Which is more of like a runner's heart. It's like a strong heart. I've been told that a lot throughout the last few weeks of going through all this, right? I'm like, wow, I'm very grateful for that. Because who knows, if it was a weak heart, I probably would have dropped dead sooner. And we're just talking. We end up kind of just talking about Call of Duty. I remember I was saying, because I was like, yeah, dude, I need to switch games, bro. I need to switch lobbies. I got lucky enough to even spawn back to the lobby. I think I'm playing the wrong game. And he's like, dude, that's a funny analogy. He's like, you need to play like Call of Duty. You respawn a lot quicker or some shit like that. I was like, well, I don't need to respawn at all. I need to play like a story game now because I'm done playing shooters. He was like, damn, that's funny. He's like, dude, you're one of the most normal people that I've ever had in here. And he's now just being personable. Yeah, I don't really work with this guy much, and he keeps it really fucking cold, man. Are you cold? I'm like, dude, I'm freezing. I've just been too pussy to say it. And he laughs and he gives me a blanket. He's like, here, I'll set this on you. And he like wraps it on me. He's like, good? I'm like, so much better, man. He's like, hey, bro, can you turn that AC off? And like, he's a normal guy and he's super cool. Having a super normal conversation, right? And I can tell he appreciated this conversation just as much as I did, because I haven't really had a normal conversation with somebody in 72 hours. I really appreciated this conversation because I didn't have a real conversation for somebody for like another 48 to 72 hours. I'll get into that as well. I was in Valley Wise for 9 days. For the first 3, it was pretty much a living hell until I forced myself on a different unit by complaining to the nurses and everything like that. But I'm wheeled into this creepy kind of holding cell, and this doctor comes up. They go into another room where I can still hear them talking, and it's the guy who I was having this conversation with talking to my soon-to-be person wheeling me up to my unit. Yeah, he's super calm, super cooperative, collected. Like I said, really cooperative. He gave us no problems at all. Really nice, super bright kid. Yeah, just really cooperative. I don't have anything else to say, you know, which I can tell usually it's probably a little different conversation in there. Because this place is a place where they strip you of all your belongings. They throw you on a unit with all these other people who got stripped of their belongings and other people who have repeating behaviors. They want to see that behavior up front and center and study that behavior and see if you can stop doing that behavior in such a harsh setting. That's pretty much what it's for. They realize very quickly, oh, this guy's behavior is literally just doing drugs because he's calm, he's nice, he's respectful. That's all I was told. It's very respectful, very nice, very calm, very cooperative. I was able to sign, it was a state-ordered petition by my mom that I was even here. I was able to sign voluntary and get out of that by day 2, if that speaks any volumes. Which, like I said, this Valley Wise place, stories of its own. Because after I sit in this fucking stretcher for, I'm not joking, at least an hour, maybe more. Even the guy kept kind of, sorry, bro, it usually doesn't take this long. Like, yeah, I've been in here forever. Like, my back hurts. He's like, dude, I bet. And so I'm like, it's all good though, bro. I'm really just cold more than anything. And they finally put me in this wheelchair and strapped me. And now I'm free a little bit to move my hands and legs. And like, all good? He's like, yeah, he's super cooperative. He'll cooperate with you guys. He's super calm, super respectful. You guys will have an easy time with him. and I get wheeled in this giant hospital-like building up to Unit 601, which I will never forget. Unit 601. All right? And I will talk about that in the next one. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, comment. I hope you learned. Don't follow in my footsteps. Drug addiction is a trap, like I keep saying every video. You don't have to hit rock bottom to get out of that trap. Hopefully, I'm kind of trying to fuck with your brain into believing that. Because once you believe something, it's as good as true. If you believe drugs are helping you, you're fucked. Life's hard. Drugs will never make it any easier. It actually just makes life harder. It just masks what you have to deal with in life now. And now you're just fucking feeding that. And sure, you can tell how that becomes a downward spiral very quickly. I love you guys. I appreciate to everybody who watches this. Excuse me. If you enjoyed and made it all the way, leave a like, subscribe, comment. It lets me know that you enjoyed. And like I said, I just really appreciate every single one of you. It also lets YouTube know that you enjoyed and push it out to more people, which is the goal. Have a good day, night, whenever you did watch this. And I hope to catch you in the next video. Peace. If you don't like and subscribe, you're a bitch!